Murid-murid asing yang ingin belajar soal sejarah modern Indonesia, salah satu buku wajib yang harus dibaca adalah In the Time of Madness, Indonesia on the Edge of Chaos. Buku ini ditulis oleh Dr. Richard Lloyd Parry yang bercerita tentang Indonesia di akhir 1990-an ketika rezim otoriter Soeharto menjelang berakhir dan ketegangan sosial terjadi di mana-mana. Rebecca Henschke berbicara dengan Richard di sela-sela Ubud Writers Festival dan melihat kembali ke masa-masa itu.
The first time I came to Indonesia was in 1996. I came out for a very, very boring ASEAN summit in Jakarta. And 2 days after this dreary summit came to an end, and I stayed on, the headquarters of the PDI in Jalan Diponegoro in Jakarta was raided by security forces who were breaking up the democracy demonstrations there. And that was followed hours later by very dramatic riots in central Jakarta. There were offices were set on fire, huge towers were burning with black smoke, there were armoured cars on the streets, soldiers and police advancing on angry crowds. I'd never seen anything like it before, and I was new to Indonesia and new to that kind of reporting, really. And that moment, you know, we didn't realise at the time, but looking back, that I think was the beginning of the end of the New Order. And I covered, for example, the really extraordinary communal violence in Kalimantan between the local Dayaks and the Madurese. Which took the form of headhunting and cannibalism at several moments. That was very extraordinary.
And is that why you describe that period as madness?
My book's called In the Time of Madness, and that's actually a quotation from a 19th century Javanese poem about the cycles of history, the time of peace and tranquility and harmony is followed by the time of madness. And I also became very interested in I started to read about Indonesian and Javanese culture and traditional belief and superstition. And there were a lot of people there at that time who felt that these weren't only political events, but it was as if it was part of a rather frightening historical shift. And I followed the end of the New Order and the events of May 1998, the fall of Suharto, and then the final part of my book, and one of the last big story I did here was the independence in East Timor and the violence that followed that. And it was extremely momentous time, personally, professionally, and of course for Indonesians.
Taking a look at the situation in Kalimantan that you described with the Dayaks and the Madura sort of immigrants to that area, what do you think was fueling such kind of brutal violence there, and why was it able to happen at that particular point in Indonesian history, or why did it happen?
Injustice is the answer in a word. I mean, my attention was caught by that story because of its its sensational aspects. It's one of those sort of crude cultural stereotypes of Borneo, that it's full of headhunters and cannibals, and of course we know it's not as crude as that, but when those stories started to come out and the information was very sketchy at first, that there'd been an outbreak of headhunting and cannibalism, I felt I had to go there just to find out what had happened. And I went there and spent some time there, and it was difficult working there because I wasn't supposed to be there. But after a time, as I learned more about it, this sort of sensational and strange thing, as it appeared, came to seem really entirely natural. The Dayak people there were victims. They were victims of oppression and disempowerment that went back for decades. I mean, before the New Order, but certainly during the New Order. They were deprived of their land. They didn't have equal access to education. They had no positions of authority in government, in the army, in the police. They were treated as being less than human. And finally they snapped, and the people they lashed out against, they couldn't strike back at the government, they couldn't strike back at the army, so they turned on the people who were closest at hand, who were these settlers from Madura, who were also very poor, also victims. That was the tragedy of it, that the people who were suffering the violence were not the real agents of the Dayak's oppression, they were also victims.
Kebebasan berekspresi dan mengeluarkan opini terhadap realita kondisi yang terjadi membuat Ai Jufridar yang berprofesi sebagai jurnalis di Aceh mulai menulis cerita fiksi tentang kebudayaan dan sejarah Aceh. Lewat tulisan dalam buku-bukunya ini, Ai ingin melestarikan cerita-cerita rakyat dan sejarah asli masyarakat Aceh yang hampir terdegradasi. Dalam acara Ubud Writer and Reader Festival, reporter Reski Reza Pratama mewawancarai Ai Jufridar tentang kisah-kisah tulisan fiksinya.
Buku yang pertama saya itu berjudul Alun Buluk, Gelombang Laut yang Dahsyat. Alun Buluk itu bahasa tradisional Aceh yang masyarakat Aceh sekarang pun banyak nggak tahu artinya apa gitu. Sehingga banyak ketika di launching bertanya, apa sih Alun Buluk ini? Karena Alun Buluk itu tsunami dalam bahasa Aceh. Jadi bahasa Aceh itu demikian kaya. Istilah tsunami juga sudah ada zaman dulu. Tapi tsunami itu dari Jepang, di Aceh disebut Alun Buluk. Nah, buku ini itu bercerita tentang kisah tsunami yang terjadi di Aceh dan bagaimana seorang remaja di Aceh mencari keluarganya yang hilang. Yang kedua, tahun 2010, judulnya Kabut Perang, itu menceritakan tentang kondisi, saya tidak menyebutkan di Aceh, tetapi ketika membaca novel itu orang ada tahu itu bahwa kejadiannya di Aceh. Dalam novel itu tidak ada Aceh, tidak ada TNI, tidak ada Polri, tidak ada Indonesia, tidak ada GAM, hanya menyebutkan tempat. Dan di situ saya mengungkapkan bagaimana konflik di sana terjadi, bagaimana di daerah perang itu kebenaran itu begitu sulit kita temukan. Di daerah perang setiap kombatan meneriakkan kebenarannya di ujung senjata dan mereka mempunyai versi kebenaran masing-masing yang kadang-kadang berbeda dengan kita. Kemudian saya menulis ini dalam dunia fiksi karena saya merasa bahwa dalam dunia fiksi kebenaran itu lebih bebas untuk disuarakan dibandingkan dengan di dunia jurnalistik yang begitu banyak kepentingannya. Nah, yang ketiga, pada tahun 2011 saya menerbitkan novel Putroneng, orang putri Cina yang bernama asli Nian Nio Liangqi yang mempunyai 100 suami di mana semuanya 99 diantaranya meninggal pada malam pertama karena di tubuhnya itu ada racun. Jadi setiap berhubungan dengan suaminya itu meninggal. Itu kisah mitos yang ada di Aceh yang selama ini dari generasi ke generasi itu diceritakan oleh orang-orang tua, tetapi tidak pernah ada referensi baik yang buku fiksi maupun non-fiksi tentang kisah itu. Makanya saya pikir ini kekayaan kisah-kisah mitos di Aceh ini harus ditulis oleh tidak hanya saya, tapi juga oleh penulis yang lain untuk barangkali ini menunjukkan kekayaan, kebudayaan dan kisah rakyat di Aceh.
Nah, emang dari Mas bilang itu hilang, di mana banyak kisah-kisah atau mitos legenda dari negeri Aceh hilang gitu. Emang terjadi degradasi kebudayaan untuk masyarakat Aceh itu sendiri mengingat masa lalu?
Ya, generasi yang sekarang barangkali dengan majunya teknologi sudah mengenal internet, mereka dan wifi di Aceh itu ada di mana-mana dan gratis. Di warung kopi hanya dengan modal Rp3.000 mereka bisa mengakses internet sampai seharian. Itu membuat mereka budaya untuk menceritakan kisah yang Aceh yang sebenarnya itu sudah hilang sama sekali. Generasi muda di Aceh sekarang lebih terbiasa dengan Facebook, Twitter, dan poker barangkali, sehingga untuk mendengar kisah dan kemudian menceritakan ke kawan-kawan yang lain itu sudah tidak ada lagi. Mungkin kami ini generasi terakhir yang pernah mendengar kisah-kisah itu dan saya berinisiatif untuk menuliskannya agar tidak hilang di telan zaman. Nah, degradasi memang ada barangkali, tapi tidak sampai menggerus nilai-nilai keislaman ya. Karena setiap adat dan kebudayaan Aceh itu bagian dari budaya Islam sendiri. Misalnya ada salah satu contoh, ada budaya Aceh, tradisi masyarakat Aceh yang disebut dengan peratip. Peratip itu menina bubukkan anak di ayunan, sambil di ayun itu dinina bubukkan dengan syair-syair. Jadi syair itu pun mengajak kepada kejujuran, proses pendidikan, juga ada nilai edukasi di sana, dan memuji Tuhan, memuji Nabi Muhammad, seperti itu. Jadi tradisi ini pun mungkin generasi yang sekarang sudah agak berkurang, tapi di kampung-kampung masih tetap dipertahankan.